Hello and welcome to my review of a brand new Micro Roni from CAA Generation 4. And here it is, the brand new Gen 4, the fourth installment, the Generation 4. This is a standard stock version, which does in fact require a tax stamp if you live in the States, but they also sell a non-tax stamp version called the Stabilizer. This specific model is compatible with Glocks 17, 22, 31, 19, 23 and 32. Generations 3, 4 and 5, which is more than useful because in previous generations you needed to buy a completely different or separate Ronis for different types of Glock. So this Generation 4 features some very interesting additions, for instance an ambidextrous charging handle, a front mounting light which is optional, a space to store your additional magazines so you can reload quicker and faster, a very stiff and hard to use safety which is good, positive safety. It won't come off that easily. Ambidextrous Picatinny rail for mounting any type of accessories. This little button here on both sides is used to release the gun when it's inside, and this button releases the front light, or just this cap right here, where you can have an additional light or a laser or something additional. The front shroud is adjustable for multiple Glocks. Currently it's in position for the Glock 19, as you can see right here. Can also easily be adjusted. Here's a little Gen 4 marking. It has a very large and big ejection port for ejecting shells. Right here, this little hook is used to hold a collapsed stock, so you can use the gun also with a collapsed stock, just like a pistol in its pistol form. The buttstock is completely rubberized for that better feeling, even though the Roni doesn't really have any recoil. And here's a little front view how the Roni looks from the front. So to put a gun into the Roni, first we need a Glock, doesn't matter which version. First make sure it's empty, then we grab the Roni. Right here it indicates that it's in the lock position. We press the button and slide back and open it. The slide inside does not come out, which is perfect. We grab the gun and put it inside at angle. Make sure that it's lined correctly and push it inside until we hear a click. Then we simply slide it forward until we hear another click, and that's pretty much it. Following that, we close the back door and lock it in position, making sure that we see the red, which indicates that it's locked, and we check the functionality to making sure that the slide comes all the way back and there is no obstructions. So to disassemble the Roni, first of all we make sure that the firearm, Glock in this case, is empty and clear. We press the button at the back and push it back until the red is gone and it opens. Now we grab the gun, and on the both sides here are little buttons. We push the both buttons down at the same time and the Glock simply slides back and we push it down. And that's it. It's so easy, anyone can do it, literally. Then we simply close it and that's it. So regarding the accessories, I'm only using Magpul flip-up backup sights, and I like to have a little thumb rest on my left side of the Roni, which greatly improves my holding ability of the Roni. So here's a little comparison between the generation. At the bottom right here we have a Generation 4, and on the top we have a Generation 3. The biggest and the most important difference between those two generations is the way and the ability to put in your Glock, for instance, and the ability to have over 6 different Glock models in Gen 4 compared to just 3 in Gen 3. Also the shroud is a little bit different. It looks meaner, more cooler like. Another difference between the generations is the slide stop locking button, which is absent in the new gen, which is brilliant because you can have now a custom or lengthened slide stop button, which was not possible to have in previous generation. Another difference is the larger ejection port. This is Gen 3 ejection port, and this is the Gen 4 ejection port. It's made much bigger, which is obviously beneficial, and the holes on the side and on the top are also made bigger for better ejection of the weaker ammunition. So here they are side by side, the Gen 3 and the Gen 4. Obviously the newer generation has much better improvements, and overall it's just better because it's newer, obviously. And here you can see the holes which are used for the 1-point sling attachment. So here it is again, of course, Gen 3 versus Gen 4. The Gen 3 with this button right here, slide stop lock. You press the button, the charging handle comes out. You put the charging handle on the Glock, which is not a big problem but can be a nuisance, and it's just another step, and you can easily lose this charging handle in tall grass like happened to me. While in Gen 4 right here, the charging handle stays in place and you simply put in the Glock sideways and that's it, and you simply remove it. It's just so simple, it's just funny. This is one of those things where, for instance, with the charging handle you can be like look away for a second and misplace it, or just simply, like happened to me, drop it in a tall grass and then good luck finding it for the next 20 minutes. So the Gen 4 wins here by a mile. It's just, this is so better, it's like ridiculously good. So going to the shooting range, the first thing I'll put in my case is obviously the Roni, a stock Glock 19 Gen 4, no modifications, stock trigger, stock everything, 2 small magazines and 2 obviously a little bigger magazines for fun. And that's it. So here are a few shots fired at 25 meters with the Roni, a little POV action. So here are just a few shots with me messing around with Roni and experimenting a little. So I shot my stock Glock at 25 meters in standing position, and this is the best I could do. It's completely horrible, and look at the size of the group, it's just horrendously ugly. And then I did the same thing but put my Glock in a Roni and double the distance at 50 meters, and look at that. I mean, just wow. Except for that one flyer, this is pretty impressive for me. I mean, just look at this. The same gun, the same 2.5 kilogram trigger, and wow. The only difference, the Roni. And with a little more of practice, it could be even better. Now, if there's just one thing that I would like to see added in the next few generations is perhaps the mesh right here. It was present in Generation 2. This one right here is a standard one for the AR. I would prefer it because I don't have to pick up the brass all the time, but here is the problem. The stock wouldn't work, but I'm sure their engineers could figure this one out. Besides that, this thing is absolutely perfect and worth every single cent. It literally improves your Glock dramatically. I got this Roni 10% off at wiresinc.com. For the links, check the description down below. And thank you for watching.